Hello, welcome. I am Binky, and this is Newsflash. The state of Georgia has much to celebrate, a great booming economy, but there are three special reasons for Georgians to celebrate. The Atlanta Braves won the 2021 World Series. No one gave them a chance, but they won. And so did Stetson Bennett, who led his Georgia Bulldogs, another Georgia juggernaut, to a championship. Stetson Bennett IV defeated, or helped defeat, longtime nemesis, the Alabama Crimson Tide. The win was especially sweet for Georgia because Alabama had embarrassed them a month ago in the SEC championship game in Atlanta. The victory snapped a 41-year drought for national titles, despite many formidable teams in those years. So Georgia is riding a huge wave of good fortune. The Braves and the Dogs are champs at the same time, right now. You know, you'll have to excuse me here. I'm gonna go off just a bit off the stated path. I am Beaky the Talking Cat and take pride in my professional approach. But I must say, this college football season was emotional and something really wonderful happened. There was a wonderful story. Stetson Bennett, his story was a wonderful story. I don't have time to tell you about that. This is my report. But these Georgia Bulldogs really impressed people in that football game, and they won their first title. And I think we all should say touche. And it's not always going to go the way of the big elephant that tramples and so forth. It's a victory for the common man, us all, and for the state of Georgia on a wave of success, despite having the All-Star game not being played here. We were going to celebrate, but a delayed celebration is much better than none at all, and we celebrate today. Absolutely. Go Braves and Dogs. But of course, everyone loves mountains. No, the state of Georgia did not get the All-Star game. They got something much, much better. They had two champions. Two, count them. And that's a lot. Thank you for listening to Newsflash. This is Binky speaking. And for all, good night. Man, thank goodness this show's over with. How long, how hard is it to tell people that Georgia won a football game? I've heard it only a zillion times already. But maybe they'll want to hear it from me. I am Binky the Talking Cat, and I do what they tell me to do, and I get my pay. And people are wondering, why would a cat want money? It's different. I'm a talking cat. What would you do if you could talk and you were a cat? Well, I do what I can, and that's what I do. I am Binky the Cat. Yeah, it was a tough show. I had to put all this together and talk about all this stuff, and it's great to talk about it, but the picture editing is just absolutely maddening. They gotta be dazzled and razzled and dazzled. And so that's pretty much all I got to say for right now. This is Binky the Cat saying good night, just in case I forgot to turn the third mic off. I never did tell them what the third thing was. Oh, that's right. I was supposed to have said, and the third thing was, you got a great governor. Good night, you all. At least for now. Welcome We're almost 4 minutes into what I presume will be the final edit of this show. It's called Newsflash, but it's actually just a little trick to get you to watch my show. I am Binky the Talking Cat. I'm trying to make a living by talking. It's my best skill. I can do a lot of things. I am a cat. But we're smart enough to know that money buys treats and everything else. And so, we're not dumb. But using the language, we're very similar. So if you can get over that, you can just listen to me for a while. Being a talking cat isn't that much different than being a talking human. It's not much different at all. Welcome back to Binky the Talking Cat. Those of you who have stayed this long, an entire 6 minutes, must be dedicated, extremely dedicated. And we welcome you into the 6th minute of our show here. As it winds down, I am Binky the Talking Cat. I do all sorts of things. Yes, all sorts of things. I do commercials, voiceovers. I'm a busy guy. But I have noticed something about you humans. I'm a talking cat. I'm a talking cat. I'm a talking cat. I'm talking. Let's just take it from there, and we won't mention the cat stuff anymore. Okay? Deal? Good. Okay, one more time. I am Binky. And you all know what I am. I've gotten to know a lot of you people. But I'm just a voice. Just one little voice out there. But I have made observations from a vantage point as this cat that you humans baffle us to no end. You've got the world in the palm of your hands. And yet, what do? You let a cat get the best of you in almost every instance. But that's just another story entirely. But I also come to love the people. I see them in a different light, that I can speak with them, and they treat me as one of theirs. And for that, I am most grateful. But all in all, it's just a voice, just an idea, just a thought that comes from something, some tissue that can generate the velocity and make the sound. If a voice is heard, then a voice was spoken, I suppose. And I guess that's all we have for tonight, folks. I am Binky the Talking Cat. And at the end of the day, I just wanted to make all of your moments just a bit brighter, if I could. All right, welcome. We're back into at least the 8th minute of tonight's show. It's funny how the attention span of humans has been reduced to roughly what our species is. It makes it easier to get along. 7 minutes of your attention should be well warranted. You shouldn't waste even a second. And so, if someone cannot keep your attention for a mere 7 to 8 minutes, perhaps you have wasted the entire 7 to 8 minutes determining this actuality. I don't waste your time. I have no desire to waste your time nor my own. I am Binky the talking cat, that is a fact. But let's get over that. I am just talking. And someone has given me the platform, a voice that can be heard, as I am a voiceover cat. Normally, I use this skill for other people's gain. However, I negotiated my own show with no time limits, and I promised them a lot of shows. You see, that was the trick, you see. After I got them hooked on that, now I got a freelance to do whatever I might. So they want an 8-minute show, I'll give them 50. Hey, it doesn't cost them a dime. So you see, when I discovered that I did not make the same sounds as my siblings, I knew something was odd about me. I could not make the phonetic sounds to attract the attention of my cat mates. But I could say stop. And I learned to speak. And I listened to the children, and they taught me well. And I just happened to have an English teacher in the house. So I learned how to speak properly to an extent. I listened. I learned the language, and I had the skill to speak. And then it occurred to me that I would like to talk to all the humans, not just the ones I see. Enough about me. I have just been flapping the gums about myself way too much, people. I am terribly sorry, as I am Binky the talking cat. I am well paid to tell everyone about that fact. A professional voiceover cat. It's a great living. You can do what you want. It pays well, and you see the world. Why, I almost joined the Navy, you might say. Yeah, back. Binky, the talking cat. Thanks for joining us. We're on our 12-minute mark. That might be reduced, do the editing down to about 10 minutes. Most of you stuck around for 10 whole minutes. Hey, and we really appreciate that. You see, one of my favorite jobs as a talking creature of this world, speaking the English language, I got a job at a radio station in Denver, but just outside of Denver, in Colorado, the mountains. And man, that was a beautiful place. I would go hiking, and being a real outdoors person, man, I just loved it out there. The trees, the rocks, but I came this way, came east, settled in around Georgia, got to know the place, and it ain't bad. But Denver was great, but I had a radio station there. I did an all-nighter, just me. And so it was just you and I, whoever you are, and me. You and I, you and me, me's and you's, and I had to keep them talking all night. And so you learn little tricks. You realize that at 2 a.m., anyone who's not sleeping probably needs some stimulation. So you gotta keep them interested. So we had all kind of weirdos that would call, like strange people. I don't know if it's just a Colorado thing or what, but there was some strange callers, no doubt. I can assure you of the strangeness. And anyway, it was a good show, and I did it for a long time. And then I got the urge to be big time, to really make it, to make my gift something that everyone could benefit from, not just me. Because if it was just me, that's what I would have done. The little talk radio station and kept people up all night. Yeah, I guess I really miss those radio days. Those were the good days. The good old days. Yeah, I was in a lot of places. Colorado was just one gig I did. I was in Washington State. I did a radio show in Albuquerque. I did what I could because I wanted to get money. I knew how it worked. You gotta get what you can. And so you go places where the jobs are. And the jobs in those days, good radio gigs, if you get settled in, you could retire. But I wasn't thinking about the money. I just loved the fact that I had the whole day off, and at night, I just talk. What a gig! But late night, you get the crazy people. Yeah, you get the crazies. They're out there, and they're talking to me. In Colorado or Albuquerque or someplace, and I always say, well, where are you? I want to know how far away you are. And if I determined that you were at least 200 miles away, I would resume talking. But there was this guy, I think I was in Albuquerque at the time, out in the desert. Yeah, boy, it was quiet there. You could see the stars a million miles away, boy. But no people, lizards, cactus, and stars. And this guy's calling, and that's where it's showing up. And he tells me, my name was Carl, that was the show name. He says, Carl, you need to go outside and talk to the moon. I've been talking to Jupiter all night. And so I told him I couldn't go out, that I couldn't really see, but he said, well, that's okay, but he says, I've been talking to Jupiter. And he got in a long conversation. He was telling me shit I couldn't believe. I didn't know if he was a crackpot or not. But we talked for like 8 hours. My show was the whole show. This guy was talking, and he didn't make nonsense. He was logical. I just couldn't shoot down his points. But this guy he was a lunatic. I don't know, but maybe he wasn't. But anyway, but we get callers like that, and sometimes it would get you kind of shook up. Yeah, there's not much market for that anymore. Those were the good old days. Talk radio. Now it's all video. Everything's got video. It's a different world. I can't say I dislike it. I can see things even humans can't see. Yes, I love to see it and smell it and taste it. And to hear it is only one portion. But in those days, it was a connection. I was late at night, it was me and them. The show was called You and I. I was in Vermont one time. This 50-watt station. Yeah, you never know where that signal will go. It's 50,000 watts. If you don't know what that means, it means it goes a long way, and it depends on how the wind is blowing at that moment. Well, thank you very much. You've been a great audience tonight. I thank you very truly for your time. I am Binky, the Talking Cat, and they have agreed to give me 10 minutes in addition to this regular feature from my show, and I am so grateful that they allowed me to do that. If anyone watches past the actual finished production to see my show, I thank you very deeply. I am Binky the Talking Cat, and this private edition is where you and we talk. And you can talk to me. You can type in something in the comments. you have a question, there's a lot of ways we can talk with this, way more than talk radio, actually. And so I enjoy very much getting behind the microphone always, because it's such a thrill to speak to another species. It's just such a fine thrill. And so, with that being said, I am Binky the Talking Cat, and I do thank you for watching. This show needs some support to keep going. It does take money to make these shows, especially the higher-end productions that you saw earlier, which we thought were pretty good. And of course, I did them myself. And so yes, I'm trying to get a YouTube audience, not to get following, but because I believe there are people out there that we have a lot to say to each other. And so this would be a great medium to do that. And so, thank you again for listening and watching. I am Binky the Talking Cat, and I love you all very deeply. As a talking cat, I see the human much more differently than you cannot imagine. I did not change my identity. I just speak the language. And so, that being said, good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very dearly for your time.
You think it was
Not
easy?
easy.
Really?
Welcome. House.